So, we are going to learn a little bit of what's going on in the world today. We know that Donald Trump wants Greenland. I think that's what ticked off a couple of alarms to us normal citizens. But now it has piqued this normal citizen's curiosity. I'm not a U.S. citizen or a Greenland citizen, by the way, mind you. But I'm very curious about the international happenings of the world today. And obviously, this affects the rest of the free world. So let's learn what is going on in the Arctic. Why are the superpowers interested in this place, bro? Greenland, why are you so famous?
What happens in the Arctic does not stay in the Arctic.
That is so lame. Lame line.
There are things happening in the Arctic now that would have been unthinkable 20 years ago.
Unthinkable. Wow. Damn.
This is the region warming faster than anywhere else on Earth.
Oh.
And as the climate changes, so does its strategic importance.
Okay.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security.
Just gonna say it right now, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. Doesn't mean I'm a fan of Xi Jinping. Doesn't mean I'm a fan of Vladimir Putin. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
Major powers are turning their eyes north, looking for resources, new routes through the ice,
Wait, what?
and a way to strengthen their position on the global stage.
Of course, I thought they were there to save the world.
A lot of countries have come out with Arctic strategies. It's part of how the international order is being challenged.
Here are 5 reasons why the Arctic has become one of the world's most hotly contested regions. To understand this, we need to look at the world in a different way.
All right.
Far from just a frozen ocean, 8 countries have territory in the Arctic Circle. The United States, Canada, Greenland, which is a semi-autonomous part of Denmark, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia.
Russia.
During the Cold War between the US and Soviet Union, going over the pole was a potential route for missile strikes.
Okay.
Both countries expanded their military operations, with the US establishing a base in the north of Greenland.
Damn.
But in 1987, with the Cold War coming to an end, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev proposed the scaling down of military activity in the Arctic.
What Gorbachev was trying to articulate was a vision where the Arctic parties would focus on areas where they could find common cause.
In the years that followed, the 8 Arctic nations formed the Arctic Council and agreed to work together on research and environmental protection. Arctic and non-Arctic states opened research bases, with countries like China, India, and South Korea investigating how the region impacts weather patterns thousands of kilometers away in Asia.
The Arctic has had this reputation of being sort of an exceptional place of peace and cooperation. That narrative continued until Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
That
Imagine
narrative.
Being able to build an app
Is it a
with your
narrative?
name on it, just by thinking
God
about
damn,
it. Meet base 40.
Wait, was it a narrative or was it actually true? You know, that's what I want to know.
In 2022, Russia reopened the Cold War's fault lines. Within months, Finland and Sweden applied to join NATO, the Western military alliance. The Arctic map became Russia on one side and NATO members on the other.
The border between Norway, Finland and Russia is effectively a front line for Russia and NATO.
The Arctic saw direct conflict when a Russian airbase in the Arctic Circle was attacked by Ukrainian drones.
Bro!
The region is critical to Russia's military. Most of its nuclear capability is based there.
Я подчеркну, Россия никогда никому не угрожала в Арктике. Но мы внимательно следим за развитием ситуации, выстраиваем адекватную линию реагирования.
Russia has reopened dozens of Soviet-era bases.
That's not good. That's not good at all.
And used Arctic waters to test hypersonic cruise missiles. Russian and American fighter jets have come into close proximity in the skies near Alaska.
My goodness.
And the West is also expanding its Arctic presence.
Bro.
2024 saw NATO's biggest drills in the region since the Cold War. the US Army has reactivated a specialized Arctic force in Alaska.
Oh my goodness.
And President Trump has proposed something bolder.
You know, I've always had a sense that President Trump is not trying to play at being a typical president. Like, he's not trying to play... Oh, so sorry to get close to the mic. He's not trying to play at being a typical president. I think he's trying to play at being a wartime president. I think he's trying to take over, really, obviously in the most corrupt and unlawful way possible. But I think in his mind, and obviously his supporters' minds, is that this is what's needed for them to be the superpower that they claim to be, or that they want to keep the position, or become the only superpower that matters. I don't know, but I think that's what's going on.
We need Greenland for national security and international security. So I think we'll go as far as we have to go. We need Greenland, and the world needs us to have Greenland. See,
obviously it's not security. It's international intervention, international control. Obviously they need to keep their power in check, bro. They can't let Russia or China really get a hold of that area. Really, they just cannot afford it. Whether it's President Trump, who's the president currently, or Obama, they cannot let it be. Even if Biden was there, bro, they cannot let Russia take over Greenland.
The US still has a military base in Greenland, and the response to Mr. Trump's suggestion was clear.
Jamen, Grønland er grønlændernes, og Grønland er en del af det danske kongerige, og det kommer ikke til at ændre sig.
Polls suggest most Greenlanders don't want to be part of the US. The majority want to be independent.
Yeah, but...
For Donald Trump, a strong presence in the Arctic is key to countering the partnership between Russia and China, which the two countries describe as a friendship without limits.
Yeah?
You don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place.
Bro.
We're not letting that happen.
Russian and Chinese Coast Guard ships have carried out joint patrols in the Arctic Ocean, and bombers from both countries have flown together near Alaska.
It's the first time that we've seen these two countries fly together like that.
And it's scary in the U.S. It is scary in the U.S., bro. This is like history in the making again, and obviously it's not good for us normal citizens.
The worry is that some of those drills, exercises, patrols might generate a risky escalation, a miscalculation.
China says its actions are about deepening cooperation with Russia and aren't aimed at third parties. However, this relationship has tensions of its own.
Of course it does.
There's been a danger that Russia's fully aware of, is that the more and more it collaborates with China, the more it's giving China legitimacy to act as a very powerful near-Arctic state.
China describes itself as a near-Arctic state, despite being 1,400 kilometers from the Arctic Circle.
Yeah.
In 2018, it launched a range of investment projects it called the Polar Silk Road, but it's hit roadblocks in communities wary of being over-reliant on China.
They want to be a polar superpower. We want a relationship to China, but we do not want to be dependent on China.
Yeah.
There's no question that it was trying to sort of have a significant impact in the Arctic, but it hasn't come to fruition.
Yeah, so
most of China's economic success in the Arctic has come from partnering with Russia on projects like this natural gas extraction field. And shipping this gas has been made easier by the Arctic Ocean's melting sea ice. This was how much there was in summer 1979. And this is in 2024, a reduction of 2.6 million square kilometres, which is roughly the size of Argentina. Many see this as an opportunity to exploit the Arctic for shipping during the summer months. Of the three potential routes, the only one currently viable is along Russia's northern coast, known as the Northern Sea Route.
There's been the hope that more and more traffic could bypass the usage of the Suez Canal and shave thousands of miles of shipping time and distance.
97 cargo voyages were made using the Northern Sea Route in 2024, mostly exports from Russia to China. But compared to Suez, With 13,000 ships passing through every year, it's a long way from being a competitive option. The Arctic Ocean is frozen for most of the year. Even in summer, it's an unpredictable environment.
You're going to have a situation where there are very small windows of time where there could be the potential to transit, and that doesn't offer the certainty the shipping industry needs.
The world is such a fascinating place, isn't it? It's like the most important resources and elements that are very vital for superpowers to be superpowers, really, to maintain their positions and to go higher, are the same things that were relevant even back then. It's like time has not really moved. Time has moved forward, but not that fast. It's like we're still in the past. We're still in the past. Like, you know, transit is still important. Time and efficiency is still relevant till this day. Technology. We always have to strive for more and more and more. And I feel like when it comes to certain countries like my own, it's very obvious that we don't prioritize it as much, but we should if you ever wanted to be in a global stage or ever just wanted to develop ourselves, really, just to become a country that's, you know, well developed, that has good economy, well taken care of citizens, fair practices in all kinds of industries, powerful players in business and technology and science and medicine and all that kind of stuff. We need education. We need power. That education is power. Education is power. With education, you get money. With money, you get access to a lot of things and such and such. And I don't mean to go on a tangent here, but I'm just going through all my mind. It's just amazing to me.
Questions remain about shipping. There's something else the melting ice may reveal.
There's been this narrative of the last frontier of sort of rich access to resources that haven't been accessible in the past.
It's estimated that 30% of the world's undiscovered gas and 13% of undiscovered oil is there. Minerals too, particularly in Greenland.
Oh my goodness, okay.
If the U.S. were to gain access to Greenland's resources, it could significantly reduce our dependence on foreign suppliers, particularly China, which currently operates a virtual monopoly on the rare earth market.
But getting these resources is far from simple.
Okay.
You're dealing with environments that are remote, expensive to operate in, lacking infrastructure, and where there is very little skilled labor close by.
Hallelujah.
Despite this, global interest in the region, and what further ice melt might reveal, remains. And that could introduce further competition to this already contested region.
Who the hell is going to move to Greenland to dig some gold?
The Arctic is a region best characterized by high north, low tension. Now we should adapt that slogan to high north, high tension.
This is amazing documentary. I hope they don't copyright strike me or something like that. I'm just reacting to the video. It's really amazing. If you guys want to go check it out yourself, the link will be in the description below. But we're learning a bunch of things here, man. First of all, Greenland, it's very important. Unfortunately, it's a hot topic right now. When the president of the United States of America mentions your country by name and says that we need to go there, we need to go in there, whether they like it or not, because of international security, just know that you are in maybe not trouble, depending on how it all goes, because Greenland is territory of the US technically, so it's not really going to, I think it is, but what's this? They're not gonna try to go there and be hostile to the citizens there. They're just gonna try to go there for the sake of the Arctic, I guess. I don't know why Trump is not mentioning this, but it also, as Ted said there, Ted Cruz, they might also go to Greenland specifically for its own resources and such, which is such a shame. really, when you hear something like that, that's when you start thinking of Afghanistan. That's when you start thinking of Iraq. That's when you start thinking of, Palestine right now. But I don't think that it'll ever go that far. Hopefully, I hope it just never does, because, it's not the first time. I know the feeling, at least, of the president of Trump mentioning your country's name as like a target. I'm a South African. I live in South Africa, born and raised in South Africa. So he is not really happy with South Africa right now. And people have been, who's this? Some U.S. citizens, MAGA supporters, they've like made comments, on like Venezuelan videos where, Venezuela's been literally like being bombed and everything like that. And then they're like, yo, South Africa, let this be a warning to you. Type of thing. That's how confident people feel nowadays. Like, wow, okay, it's so nice to be on the other side, ain't it? Huh? It's so nice to be on your daddy's side. But anyway, so I know the feeling of that, but I don't know the feeling of actually like Trump actually planning on going there. I don't know that feeling. On that, I think Greenland has us beat. I really sympathize with them right now, man, because that's not a good thing, bro. That's just not a good thing. And then Russia as well, being like, yo, Poland and the other country being, Sweden, I think, being, NATO nations is like, okay, no, that's not happening. I know Ukraine, that's how the Ukraine war started. It's like, no, they were like, no, you're not going to be part of NATO at all. That's why the war is happening in the first place. But flip, man, it's bad. It's really bad all over the place. It's like we're gonna see a lot of things within our own lifetime. I never thought I would live in a time when there actually would be war. I always thought I would be watching documentaries like this about wars that happen, but no, we have never moved past those times at all. It's as if the war has always been continuing. Wars, on all sides. And I feel like the people who have always known this are the people who are currently the superpowers, right? The presidents of the U.S., the Xi Jinping, I could say the presidents of China and the presidents of Russia, but there's only ever been one of those or a few of those, so it really doesn't matter at this point. Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin, I feel like they've always known that, no, we're still playing this game of of resources, of warfare, of military power, of international power. But yeah, man, so much to watch here, so much to learn, bro. We're gonna try to find out what happens as more is uncovered. But yeah, I hope peace and love to the people of Greenland. Peace and love to everybody. I hope no war comes out of this at all. It's not fun hearing about war. Wasn't fun hearing about Venezuela. Definitely not fun hearing about the Palestinians. No matter how much most U.S. citizens cry out to their government to not support Israel, the U.S. government still support Israel. So I do know that it's even out of the citizens' hands. It's not really Americans. It's the government, and it's always been governments who are pushing narratives and who are controlling the power. The actual powers that be. Like, they are the ones that make all these decisions, bro. Even I'm pretty sure same goes with obviously Russia. Same goes with China. It's like, man, listen, the citizens do not have a choice but to cooperate sometimes, really, unless they really revolt and do something about it. But it will cost all of our comfortable lives to do that, and we're all too comfortable. Just guess that time is gonna come to an end, man. If we want to ever make a change in any of our countries, bro, peace should be the way, but clearly it's not the way for now.